Let's go dipnetting. And that's the end of the video. You see, lately I've been learning a lot about storytelling, organizing my shots to tell better stories. And I plan on doing that on this trip to shoot a similar video like this. However, the rain messed all of that up. Number one, I couldn't shoot footage. It was raining, I didn't want my drone and cameras getting wet, so shooting footage was out of the question. Number two, I had to focus on my boys. I had to make sure my boys were staying dry and that they were still having fun. They loved dipnetting, they loved going to Kasilof, and I wanted to make sure that they were gonna have a good time. And three, because I had to focus on my boys and make sure they were having a good time because of the weather, because of the rain, vlogging was a last priority. And what made this trip very different is that I brought my friend along, and it was his first time dipnetting at Kasilof, and he brought his daughter with him. So with not being able to shoot footage, focusing on my boys having a good time, and leading my friend on his first trip dipnetting with his daughter, there's no time to vlog and to create the video that I wanted to create. So we kind of waited for the rain to kind of die out, and then we quickly set up our tent. We got all the bags in, the kids are helping us get all the bags into the tent. Everyone's in the tent, and we're kind of settled because it's a long drive, especially for my friend JJ and his daughter, because they traveled up from Fairbanks and then to the valley and then now to Kasilof, and it's a long trip for them. So we get there in the tent, and my friend JJ goes, "Have you tested this tent out?" I just assumed that the tent was waterproof, that no water was gonna get in it. And he said, the tent that I had is not waterproof, and that with consistent rain, it's gonna eventually drip in. And I was hopeful, I was trying to stay positive. We get settled and we all fall asleep. And it's about 2:30 in the morning, and I can hear raindrops on the tent. However, there was a drip that was not like the others, and this was coming from the inside. And I could feel it hitting my sleep, feel it hitting my face. And I'm thinking to myself, oh my gosh, what if it just, all the water starts to drip and everyone gets wet? So the very first thing I do is put my hands out, and I feel my son ride his sleeping bag to make sure it's dry. It's dry. And then I feel my other son, who's sleeping right next to me, and his sleeping bag is dry. And I'm like, oh, praise the Lord, thank you for that. But then I feel right next to me, and it's just wet. And I'm like, oh man. So I made sure that my boys' bag with all their clothes was dry, so I put my backpack over it. I made sure that my bag was dry so that I had dry clothes. My boys brought their sketchbook, and I put that sketchbook in my sleeping bag because I didn't want it to get wet. So I'm laying there, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is my friend's first time dipnetting, and I brought a tent, and we're basically getting all wet. So I'm in my sleeping bag, I have it over my head, and I'm looking at my phone. I go on an Airbnb, I'm trying to okay, maybe we can salvage this trip, we can make it happen, we can keep going, not have to leave early. Looking for a place, I found a place, and I'm like, but maybe we can just push through. But deep down inside, I knew that it's supposed to rain, and there was no way for any of our stuff to get dry to lay it out because it's gonna rain the entire time. So we wake up, there's a little puddle here, boys are dry, and they're all in good spirits. They just love the outdoors. The wetness didn't dampen their spirit for camping and dipnetting. After the trip, I was really able to think hard about the purpose of this trip. The purpose of this trip was to make memories with my boys, teach my friend JJ dipnetting, and hopefully to start an annual tradition. But thinking about this whole trip brought me to a verse, Romans 8:28. And Romans 8:28 says, "And we know that for those who love God, all things work together for good, for those who are called according to his purpose." So as a believer, as a Christian, I know that God has my back. Every single thing is working towards good. And at the time, I was very frustrated with the rain, but after thinking about it, the rain itself was a blessing. Because of the rain, God was able to bring me back to Romans 8:28, and to see that everything is working for his good, and that he blessed me with this amazing trip with one of my best friends, two dads trying to be better dads, and finding ways to make memories with our kids. Thank you so much for sticking around and watching this video. I hope to actually do a vlog style Kasilof video. Thank you so much for watching. If you feel led, please like and subscribe. And thank you, and have a blessed day. Bye. Look right here, and then you just pour it on my face. Okay, ready? Okay, ready? Okay, go ahead. Do a couple more. All right, couple more. And then just stop.